Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our A to Z series, focusing on supporting children with reading and learning difficulties. I am Florence Calendar, your educational consultant, learning strategist, and the Different in Learning speaker, with over 25 years of experience in helping children overcome challenges in their educational journey. Today, the letter is L, and our focus is on language processing. Let's start by talking about what that is. Language processing is the method our brain uses to understand and produce language. In other words, it's the way the brain understands spoken and written language, makes sense of it, and responds appropriately. Let me break that down further. Language processing is how we comprehend what we hear, see, and read, and how we express our thoughts and our ideas. Now, this includes skills like listening, interpreting, and expressing ideas clearly. Language processing is crucial for all aspects of learning because it underpins our ability to communicate, to understand, and to interact with others. Now, when a child has difficulty processing language, they may struggle to understand and use that language or use the various components of language. And this can show up in various ways. So, for example, difficulty following verbal instructions and quickly and accurately, especially if they have multiple steps. So, if your child needs instructions repeated several times to them, or they seem confused during conversation, they may have a language processing problem. Or if your child has trouble expressing their thoughts, both verbally in how they say their thoughts or in writing, they may also have a language processing problem. So what you would see is your child would use vague language. So they would use words like stuff, the stuff and the thing, instead of using the specific words for items. And then they also would struggle with word retrieval. They can't remember the exact word for either the thing they're talking about or the concept. And they have difficulty constructing sentences. So their sentences seem like just words strung together, not making too much sense. And for smaller children, they may just speak in fragmented sentences. So phrases here and there, and they have trouble telling you a story in a logical sequence as it happened. These are all signs of language processing difficulties or deficits. Your child may also struggle to learn and retain new vocabulary. So this difficulty affects the child's ability to understand and use words accurately, both when they're speaking and when they're writing. So they're using the words out of context or out of meaning. So you may find now your child uses general words instead of specific terms. When that happens, be aware your child may have a language processing problem. Have you ever listened to a radio station that has a weak signal? You know how you catch bits and pieces of what the announcer is saying, or you catch a little bit here of music playing, and then there's this sound and a little bit of music playing over there. Well, for the child with language processing difficulty, it's sometimes like that. They catch bits and pieces when people talk to them, but not the whole message. So just think about it. If someone were to ask you a question about what you just heard an announcer say, if you were listening to a radio that had a weak signal, would you be able to answer a question completely, comprehensively? I don't think so. I wouldn't. Same thing with the child. If they're having language processing problems and they're only catching bits and pieces of what you're telling them, and they're not really putting the meaning together, they won't be able to answer you comprehensively or cohesively. And sometimes as parents, we get upset with children and we think they're not listening to, you're just not listening to me. How many times do I have to repeat myself to you? It's not the child's fault that they can't answer you as you want them to answer. Many times it's because they're having language processing difficulties. And this deficit can significantly impact your child's ability to learn in typical ways as instruction is taught. So challenges often arise every day at school in communication and in learning. When it comes to your child's academic performance, the teacher may tell you, oh, Susie doesn't pay attention during class. She always seems so disengaged when I'm teaching a lesson and I'm teaching a specific concept. She's not listening. She's not engaged in it. She's off dreaming. Or perhaps you yourself are perplexed because your child seems to know certain concepts when you talk to them at home, but they keep failing the test and doing poorly in their assignments at school. Or you may also notice that your child has difficulty with language and that it's affecting their ability to engage in conversations and to build relationship with their peers and other adults. Well, this may lead to social isolation and increased anxiety within your child and also within yourself as you notice what's happening to your child. Then there may be behavioral issues. All of these challenges in understanding and expressing themselves leads to frustration, and then it begins to manifest in behavior problems. And now the teacher is telling you, Johnny is acting out, or he remains at the back of the class and he withdraws from all activities. He just doesn't participate. And she also reveals that she's had to send him to the nurse a few times after having anxiety attacks during class time. If that is occurring, most likely your child is having language processing problems. But here's the good news. There are practical, actionable strategies and techniques that you can use at home to support your child. Let me tell you one that you can do. The first thing you want to start doing is simplifying and breaking down your instructions. When you're telling your child what to do, when you're giving them some type of direction, keep it simple. Break it down into smaller, manageable steps. You want to use clear and concise language and check to make sure that they understood what you said by asking them to repeat to you the instruction you just gave them. This is important. It's a small step, but it's the beginning step. And when you do that, your child is going to get more confidence in themselves, and you can implement other strategies and techniques. Supporting your child with language processing difficulties is all about understanding their unique needs and finding creative ways to help them succeed. Remember, a language processing deficit doesn't have to limit your child's potential. With the right strategies, you can help them overcome these challenges and succeed in their learning journey. And that's what you want, isn't it? Thank you so much for watching. If you found today's tips helpful, please show your support by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Remember, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other upcoming videos in this series. In the next video, we will be discussing the letter M and look into memory and the learning difficulties experienced by children who are experiencing memory challenges. Let's work together to make learning fun, fast, and easy for every child. Because, as Frederick Douglass said, it's easier to build strong children than to fix broken men and women. Until the next time, bye-bye now.